Most people think all bicep exercises build the arms the same way, but Pelican curls create a completely different kind of bicep development. And if you look at athletes who train them consistently, their arms often look different. Fuller near the shoulder, more stretched out, and with that dense hanging look that instantly stands out. And it's not just because the exercise is harder. Pelican curls place the biceps under an unusual amount of tension in the stretched position, which changes how the muscle is forced to work throughout the entire movement. Over time, that can completely change how your arms develop. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why Pelican curls build such unique-looking biceps, the mechanics behind it, and how you can train them so you actually grow. So why does the biceps look different? If you compare different athletes with impressive arms, you'll notice something interesting. Some arms only look impressive when flexed, but others seem to flow longer across the upper arm, looking thicker near the shoulder and fuller, even when relaxed. That second look is something Pelican curls are incredibly good at building. And a huge reason for that is the stretched tension. Unlike normal curls, where the hardest part is usually near the middle of the rep, Pelican curls overload the biceps while the arm is extended behind the body. That creates massive tension when the muscle is lengthened. And research consistently shows loaded stretches can be extremely effective for muscle growth. But what makes Pelican curls even more unique is the angle. Because your elbows travel behind your torso, the long head of the biceps gets placed under a deep stretch most exercises never create. That's why the movement often feels less like a normal curl and more like your entire bicep is being pulled apart while still producing force. And that deep loaded stretch is a huge reason the exercise has such a strong reputation for building dense-looking arms. But there's one problem with all of this. Most people completely ruin the exercise the second they try it. The mistake most people make. The second people attempt Pelican curls, they drop way too low, lose shoulder positioning, and turn the movement into a painful joint stretch instead of an actual curl. But the athletes who benefit most from Pelican curls usually treat them as a controlled tension exercise, because the goal isn't seeing how deep you can go. The goal is keeping tension on the biceps while gradually exposing them to more stretch over time. That's a huge difference. If you descend too aggressively, the shoulders take over and the movement loses the exact thing that makes it effective. But when you control the descent, keep the chest open, and maintain active tension through the arms, the biceps are forced to work incredibly hard in a position they're normally weak in. And here's where things get interesting. Because Pelican curls don't just change the exercise itself, they change the entire way your arms are perceived. Why your arm changes? A lot of arm aesthetics comes down to how the biceps connect into the shoulder and how full they look when relaxed. Pelican curls heavily emphasize the long head of the biceps, which contributes massively to that fuller upper arm appearance. Over time, that changes the visual shape of the arm. Your biceps start looking thicker from the side and more attached to the upper body instead of just sitting on top of the arm. And unlike machine curls, Pelican curls force your shoulders, elbows, wrists, and scapula to stabilize together. Your body has to control the stretch while still producing force. That's one of the reasons calisthenics athletes often have such distinct-looking arms, even without bodybuilding level mass. So let's talk about how to actually train Pelican curls correctly, because a few small changes completely change whether the exercise grows your biceps or just destroys your elbows. And quick side note, if you enjoy videos that break down training and physique development like this, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every week. So now to the interesting part, how to actually train Pelican curls. Most people rush Pelican curls and completely lose the thing that makes them effective. Controlled stretch tension. The athletes who get the best results usually perform them slowly and deliberately, especially during the lowering phase. That eccentric portion is where the biceps experience the deepest stretch, and collapsing through it removes a huge amount of the stimulus. So instead of thinking about getting as many reps as possible, focus on making every rep smooth and controlled. Lower slowly and pause briefly in the stretched position without relaxing. Then curl yourself back through the rep while keeping tension the entire time. And despite how advanced the movement looks, you don't need huge volume for Pelican curls to work. Because the stretch itself is so demanding, even a few quality sets can create an enormous stimulus for growth. Most people progress faster by treating Pelican curls as a precision exercise instead of an ego exercise. One reason Pelican curls feel so different from normal bicep exercises is because they're basically a body weight version of an incline curl. Incline dumbbell curls already put the biceps under a deep stretch by pulling the elbows behind the torso. But Pelican curls increase that effect even more because your entire body weight creates tension through the stretched position. And if you don't have rings, you can actually recreate a very similar movement using two opposite cable handles. Set the cables slightly behind your body. Let the arms travel back into that stretched position and curl while keeping tension constant. The feel is surprisingly close, especially for building that same stretched loading effect without needing full body weight control yet. Final rule. Pelican curls aren't just another fancy calisthenics exercise. They create a very specific kind of bicep development. One built around stretch tension, long head emphasis, and that dense athletic arm look that instantly stands out. And when you combine them with controlled form, patience, and enough consistency, the difference becomes obvious over time. Your arms start looking fuller near the shoulder, thicker from the side, and more visually complete, even when relaxed. So if you've only trained biceps with standard curls, it might be worth experimenting with Pelican curls and focusing less on heavy weight and more on tension and control. Because eventually something interesting starts happening. Your biceps stop looking like they were built only for flexing and start developing that deep athletic look that makes calisthenics physiques stand out so much. And if you can't do Pelican curls yet, start by building stronger ring support holds, ring curls, and basic tendon strength first. And if you want to see why ring dips build a completely different kind of chest, check out the video on screen right now.